Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and we just got back from the Kansas City Reptile Show. It was a Show Me Reptile show in KC. I really liked their promotions. We had really good luck with different shows from theirs and multiple locations. But Kansas City is probably one of our favorites, simply because it's only 2 hours away, and so we don't have to stay overnight anywhere. It's really low key for us to go there. We can simply drive up in the morning, do the show, be home that evening, get things taken care of. Real simple, right? Real simple. So if those of you who are going to shows in different places, every show market is its own little microcosm of that area, right? Obviously online sales is going to affect every show market, but some things are going to sell better in one location. And as we see the market go through these changes, which we've been seeing, and I say market, I'm not talking about just the ball python market. It's the reptile market in general. How is it affecting your local certain places? So how was our experience at the Kansas City show? How was it for what we work with, like specifically ball pythons and rattlesnakes? I'll tell you, for rattlesnakes, it's totally shit. Don't take rattlesnakes to that show. They don't appreciate that. Absolutely not allowed. Not a hot show. So how is it for what we took, which was ball pythons and blood pythons? And what really did we see? Well, we didn't really get a chance to go around the show as much as we usually do. Typically, we take a little bit of time each to walk around and really look closely at what others bring, kind of see what some of the other pricing is, and also just kind of see the thing we like. Because we only had a crew of 2, we didn't get a chance to really do that like we normally do. I tried to have a crew of 3. I always prefer to have a crew of 3. The standard crew is usually me, Kurt, and Caleb. Caleb's a little under the weather at the moment, so you're not going to see him for this film day. We'll see about next film day, so there'll be 2 or 3 videos without him, maybe 1 or 2 more after that. Then he'll be back there. As a matter of fact, you'll be seeing more of him for some reasons that we'll discuss down the road, that you're actually going to see more of Caleb and a little less of me for a while. But he's got to get some health stuff taken care of, so hopefully he'll be back here shortly. We had a substitute to go for him, which is a young man who wants to kind of learn about reptiles, wants to kind of see what that hobby's about. Those are my favorite kind of people, somebody who wants to learn about the animals, right? And he was set to go, had gotten permission, because I say he's a young man, he's still a teenager, to go from his parents. Broke his arm literally the day before we were leaving, so he could not go. 4-wheelers are dangerous, folks, but I do dumb crap. I can't give him too much hard time. So he wasn't able to make it, so we were down to a crew of 2. So in our quick walk-arounds, a few of the things that I noticed is, personally, I didn't think there was as many ball python tables as there was in the past. Kurt, what did you think? Yep, you thought there was less of them, more of them?
Yep.
My God, you give so much fucking feedback. This is why I miss Caleb. But there was, I think it was SSR was there, and they have a ton of ball pythons, right, and a lot of babies. There was some other people with handfuls of babies and things of that nature. But you used to go to a show like that, and you'd probably be 85% ball pythons. I really didn't see that. I did see at least one bug breeder there. It was not dubia roaches. But there was a bug breeder there selling feeders and things of that nature. There's always a frozen rodent breeder there, so there was people could get their frozen rodents. There was somebody selling product in the hallways, like your typical glass cages and things of that nature. You had that going on. You had cages like, well, I'll show you. So I bought one. We had things like this. Rawr. That were there. These are made by Brace. Whoop. We're not going to use that for a gecko. We actually bought this as part of the charity auction I'll talk about later. Brace Exotics was there with all their custom-made cages. They make really good stuff. I really like their things there. Nice opening door. We might put something fun in there. Just, something fun to get. So he was there with his stuff, so we picked that up to help US ARC. There was a guy right by us that had a whole lot of, different driftwood and things like that for cage decoration. There was a few vendors selling some crafty stuff. There was sulcata tortoises. I did see that. So there was some things there. Things that were being asked for, as I had several people ask about boas. I didn't really see any boas there. I may have just missed them. So if you were selling boas, I apologize. I ain't trying to skip on you. But I didn't get a chance to really check. But I got asked at least 3 or 4 times if I knew where any boas were. Was there somebody selling boas? Okay, so there was some boas there. But there was definitely customers looking for boa constrictors. And that was about the only thing I really got asked about. I didn't get a chance to see, I didn't really see any hog nose. That didn't mean there wasn't any there. I didn't see any carpet pythons. although I did see somebody with a large adult Bredli carpet walking around, so that they probably had carpets at their table. So there was a good variety. A lot of geckos. I did see some leopard geckos and some different leopard gecko morphs. I saw a lot of crested geckos and some like Leachianus geckos, I believe, and some of those kind of things that were there. Anything else that you saw, Kurt, in your path? What about the octopuses or octopi?
I didn't see any of those.
There was octopi there. You could actually buy yourself some octopi, same one that Caleb got one from before. So he was there. We did not pick up another one because we also knew, we might in the future, but that's more of a Caleb project that he's would deal with, and with him having to take care of the health thing first, we want to get through that before we add something that's a really touch and go animal at first. So we skipped on the octopuses for now, but that was there. So then what sold for us? How do we do at the show? Well, I mean, obviously prices today aren't what they were a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, which we all knew was coming. I mean, I've been telling you that's coming. Like, anybody shocked by that, you shouldn't have been. The writing's been on the wall forever and a day. The market's going to do what it's going to do. But we still moved a good number of snakes. I mean, we were there from 9 a.m. till 3:30 p.m., and I believe we sold 15 snakes and donated one to U.S. ARC. So a lot of things moved in a group, like where we'd sell 2 or 3 here to one person. And then we sold a lot of things that are kind of my favorite sales, which are just people getting their first snake or wanting a pet snake or just kind of getting into it, which that's what I personally love doing, because there's this thing that happens. And you don't know this when you first start. Like when I first started, this wasn't something I really thought about. After I got to be doing it for a while, then you kind of figure it out more, right? And we didn't produce our first clutch till 15. We probably didn't finish our first show till, 17? Kurt, 18? Somewhere in that neighborhood? If I was guessing. So it's not like we've actually been doing this for this super long time. But there, to me, I can sell an animal, price be damned. If I sell it to somebody and they're looking at it as like this investment thing and whatnot, and they're doing those numbers, which is great. It's great to get that money back, but it's a lot more of a cold sale. You know what I mean? There's not... One of the most fun things about selling animals to somebody is when they're super excited. There's a lot of joy. When you can see that they're giving you money, and you're not just giving them a snake, you're giving them joy. Right? You're getting the joy through that snake. I have found that to be super rewarding. Now, I still got to pay the damn bills, but that's why we don't give them away for free, right? But that is my favorite thing. So we got to do that quite a few times. My ultimate favorite sale we did not have here. We had it the last 2 shows where you have a kid on their birthday. They're there to get a snake for their birthday, and you get to be the one to get that taken care of, where you make their birthdays. That's always my favorite. I have sold things way, 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 way too cheap many times because it's some kid's birthday. But we didn't get a birthday person this year, or this show. I'll live. So what did we move? So in no particular order, we did move a pastel head exanthic, and that was, I'm sure, as part of a group or just a pet. There was another pastel fire head exanthic. We moved that. I can't remember exactly when we moved it, but I do think that it was part of a package. Somebody bought several exanthics. A lesser B, male, and yes, anytime we sold anything with spider, we always had the spider talk like we always do. We moved that. There was a killer bee head exanthic male. I do know it was part of a group we sold that was more of a wholesale type thing, because there was somebody who owned a retail shop that wanted to put several things in a retail shop. Having done that in the past ourselves, kind of know what those margins need to be, so we make sure and take good care of those folks. There was an Inchy pastel spider ghost. Truth is, we didn't sell that one. That one we donated to the U.S. ARC auction. So after Mickey's shows, which is Show Me Reptiles, they almost always have an auction to benefit U.S. ARC, and they'll come around looking for donations. We donated that snake to be sold for that. We probably would have been better off selling the snake and just giving him the money. We probably would have raised more that way, right? But it's actually really fun to do. So that one we didn't sell, we donated. There was a pastel yellow belly exanthic visual. We sold that one. That was not, I think that was maybe part of the group of the pastel firehead exanthic male. I think those two might have went together. We did sell one of our matrix bloods. So we did sell one blood python. We sold a possible double head exanthic ghost female. So we just sold that as a normal, just $25, make it go away, and then we had a queen bee. We also sold that. We did sell a straight bumblebee. I believe that was part of the group. There was a Inchy vanilla ghost that we sold. Yeah, no, the Inchy vanilla ghost. I take that back. The Inchy vanilla ghost female. That's when we donated to the charity auction. The other ghost, the Itchy Pastel Spider Ghost, we did actually sell that one. So I got those two mixed up because I remember the ghost. So the Inchy Ghost Vanilla, we donated that one to the auction. We sold a straight pied. There was a Pastel Lesser male that sold. There was a Zebra Bee male. He sold as part of that group. There was a Lesser GHI Pastel female. God, that was a pretty snake. I almost hated to see that one go. I was kind of kicking myself. I really probably should have kept that. I just really liked the way it's aged. I can't remember what group that went in, but we sold it. There was another Pastel Spider, another Zebra Bee, Pastel Spider Exanthic male, also went in that group. Straight pinstripe female, fresh set of beautifuls went to somebody for a pet, and then another normal. So we did get rid of two normals that were pos het for different things. Nothing that would be worth, I mean, if I knew it was het, I might have added $20 at best to the whole price, and I'd rather not even mess with it. Just sell those things and get them out the door. Because they wouldn't have sold here. They honestly would have just gotten taken to the local shop and wholesaled there, just to clear space. So I always like to take them to the show first, because you'll be surprised how many people at a show are really just want a normal snake. So we have some laying there for them. So that was what we moved. Some of the other things that I saw walking out the door, I saw a lot of geckos walk out the door. That wasn't uncommon to see. I did see some ready-made spider setups and jumping spider setups walk out the door without the animals in there. So I did see that. One thing I did notice is I had at least 2 to 3 people, actually it was more than that, talk to me about selling off large chunks of their collection, or all their collection. They were getting out. One gentleman I know had a 70-30 rack that he was looking to move while he was there. It was out in the parking lot in his truck. We obviously didn't have room to haul that shit home, so I didn't even really kick it around and go look at it. But he did sell it. I talked to him later, and he did sell that 70-30 rack. He's selling that rack because he's sold all those ball pythons in it as adults, and he's getting kind of out of that. I saw at least 2 other vendors I talked to who were selling a large amount of adults and have 25, 30 adults there. And they were either greatly downsizing or getting out. So that theme is still continuing to this day. What I'm going to tell you is simply this. If that concerns you, if you're hearing people, I hear these people getting out, so now I'm worried or now I'm concerned, don't let it. Don't let it concern you. If you like what you do, it really doesn't matter, right? If you enjoy where you're at and what you're doing, that's the point. Whether you want to do this just as a hobby with your kids, whether you want to do it to make some extra cash as a side hustle, or whether you want to do it full time, if you hate it, that's going to suck. If you want to do it full time, obviously that profit has to mean more to you than it does if it's a supplemental thing or a side hustle, right? But if you stick to what you love, there's going to be enough here in ball pythons, no matter how you're doing it, for you to have success, right? And as more and more people get out, the market will actually regulate the other direction. So I kind of like going to a show now and not seeing it be as ball python heavy. And it's not for why most people like it. Most people say, well, there's too many damn ball pythons at the show, blah, 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 blah. It's all ball python, blah, blah, blah. I want to see something different because they want to see something different. For me, when I go now, knowing that I'm going to be taking mostly ball pythons to every show I go to, seeing less vendors there simply means that there's less available ball pythons at that show, right? And I still know in my heart of hearts that most people walking into a show setting like that, which is my favorite place to vend because you get that face-to-face, are going to, if you took 1,000 show customers, okay, and you whittled that down, and these are not exact numbers, and you had 500 people who are going to buy an animal that day. Out of that 500 people, you're going to have different cuts and percentages. Some of them are looking for certain things. I've been that guy many times. I want this gene. I'm going to this show. I'm looking for this. This is what I'm wanting. Some are just looking for different projects. And some are coming and they're just getting into it. They've been watching things online or reading things online that their kids have. And they just want to get their first snake or their second snake, or they're just kind of starting out. They're just looking for what's cool. So you're going to have different sections of those. And I think different shows are going to promote different amounts of that. If I'm looking... Honestly, if I'm looking for specific certain things that are at a certain point, on an investment level, that's probably not the show I'm circling on my calendar. I'm probably circling something like, if I'm going to go and I'm going to spend, 15 or 20 grand on animals at a show, I'm probably not thinking Kansas City is my destination. Will I go to a show in KC and see what's there? Sure, I might run into it. But if I'm going to spend that kind of cash, I'm also going to be willing to go to a place like Tinley or Daytona or down in Austin, I think it is, or Arlington, wherever the one is, in the ARBC one in Texas, and spend the money on a place to stay and make that trip where I know there's going to be a lot more vendors and a lot more variety, because you're going to find that more than likely at that place more than you will there. Just saying. But these kind of shows, and you're going to have these kind of shows most places, whether you're in Kansas City, Colorado, Iowa, Nebraska, Minnesota, everywhere you can pick, they're going to have these, as well as the big ones are going to be smaller, or not smaller, there's going to be less of them in certain places. But you're going to have a lot of those people who are coming to look at that first snake, and you're going to do really well having that across the board thing. I couldn't tell you if a several $1,000 animal walked out of there or not that day. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I have no idea. But again, not watching everybody's sales. But that is what we moved. As far as some of the things we didn't move, that I was surprised about. We had some freeways priced pretty aggressively. We still have those. They're still there. That market, I don't know. It didn't hit while we were there. So we'll get rid of them. We kept an ivory as well that I thought we'd probably get rid of. We kept it. Things that kind of surprised me that sold was, honestly, the lesser bee leaving kind of surprised me a little bit. The killer bee, a head exanthic male, I thought would be a hard one to move, and it moved. So that was kind of a surprise. The queen bee was a little bit of a surprise, just because they kind of are, and the single gene pin. I'm surprised we moved that as easy as we did. But those are the four that really surprised ones we kept. I did think we would probably sell all three of our bloods, and we only moved one of them. So what I've found so far, small sample size, guys, for us anyway, is we've had an easier time moving carpets and boas than we have bloods. This is also the first show we've taken bloods to. And we took the three we had, the rest of them are earmarked for different things, and moved one. We had a lot of people look at them, right? But only one pulled the actual trigger. When we've taken carpets in the past, we've moved them pretty well. And when we've taken boas in the past, we've moved them extremely well. When we go to Omaha, I expect to have both those bloods still with us, unless they sell online first. And I expect to have a boa or two with us as well. So we'll see what moves there. It'll be kind of interesting. Kurt, anything you want to add about the show? What was your kind of experience there?
I thought there was a lot of people that came in the door.
The foot traffic was very, very good. I would say this is one of the best foot traffic shows I've seen in a while, personally. I know when we went to Shreveport, the foot traffic was not good, but there was some extenuating circumstances there with the storm systems knocking things out. The last one we did in Nebraska, it was meh, I would say. I can't remember the previous show from that. It was, I think, maybe Kansas City. And I thought this one was busier than the last few KC shows I've been to. So, anything else you want to add about that? I agree with you 100%. So you think it was successful? He's doing that, y'all. You just can't hear it. All right, guys, that is all I got. Thanks for watching. To let you know what we moved at the show. Is there anything that, before we get off here, Kurt, that you thought we were going to move that we didn't move? Anything that surprised you that we came home with?
The ivory.
The ivory pastel. And everybody liked that thing, and to the point that I had to shut down people holding it, because it'd been messed with too much. I was like, okay, no more holding that one unless you're buying it, because it was just, yeah.
There was another, what was it, a banana?
See, that one didn't surprise me, because it's a 5-gene animal, and it's one of those things where it's got, let's see if I can remember the that thing. There's banana, there's spider, there's pastel, there's calico, there's lesser. I think that's it. There's a whole bunch of incomplete dominant stuff in there. And for me, that's a snake that, I would look better without as much. That was one thing where we have too many genes. You guys know I'm not a big, huge fan of gene stacking. I'm more into making something I find appealing. But sometimes you've got those genes on both sides, and you get more than what you're looking for, right? Which is what happened there. And it washed out all the banana colors. It didn't have that really cool banana color. It was a very clean animal, and it's pretty, but it isn't as pretty as what it could have been, say, if you were missing the pastel or missing the pastel in the luster. I think that would have been a prettier animal if it was just a banana calico.
Do you think you could find it?
Find it? No, I'm not going to dig it out right now. Caleb reorganized all that shit while we were gone before he had to go for the thing, and so I haven't dug through there yet since we unpacked. So I'm probably not going to try to dig it up because I'll be looking like an idiot while you're waiting on me on camera. But it's just not my favorite as far as view. So I wasn't too surprised we came home with it. There's a lot of stuff, but yeah. Anything else that you were surprised we sold? Or you were surprised left? Okay, perfect. All right, guys, well, that is all we got, and we will catch you all next time.